I'm just talking like I thought I was recording. Discounts and markups. I'm very excited about this. This is this is what you've been doing. Okay. I'm going to tell you what's probably confusing. It may be how they have it set up. I don't even know what curriculum this is. I wish I knew. I want to see your entire textbook if that's at all possible at some point. And I also want to say that most days Eli gets out of school at 2:50. If your mom or dad or somebody is at home when you get home from school, I don't know what that looks like for you, but I do homework help with Eli after school at my school. So if you ever feel like, you can ask your parents like to let me to see if I'm still on campus, because we don't leave there sometimes till about 4 or so, and then we go to the gym maybe 4:30, huh, Eli? We don't always leave there straight away. Some days we do leave there straight away. Like tomorrow, he'll probably come over to my school. He gets out at 2:50, and if it's wet out or cold, I'll drive down and pick him up real quick. Um, but tomorrow I have a meeting at 3, and then I have another one at 4. So I will bring him to my school, and while I'm in my meeting at 3, he will probably have a snack break, and then he'll get right on his homework. Um, because he has homework most days, right, Bug? And then if there's anything he needs help on, I'll help him. But you're more than welcome to join us for homework help. If somebody can bring you out, they can just bring you out. And then usually, unless I have something going on that side of town, I can bring you home after we all get done with our work. Okay, or we can go to the gym. We'll talk about it. At any rate, let's take a look now. You're talking about discounts and markups, and this is very cool and very, very useful math. I want you to look at the instructions. I think it's really important to start there. Each box in the table contains a problem and an answer to a different problem. Solve each problem and find the answer in a different box. Now, it doesn't really say how to mark it. If you have colored pencils or um, highlighters or something like that, I would use those on this. And so here's your first problem. I'm just kind of gonna go through and see. I think it's going to be very important for you to make sure you're reading the question and underlining keywords. That's what I tell my students to do. I think it's very, 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 very much so beneficial. Okay. So on this first problem here, it says a DVD costs $18.99 plus 6.5% sales tax. What is the total cost of the DVD? That means now that number, that answer 43.80 or $43.80, that is not the answer to this problem. Your answer is in a different box. So let's just take a look, and I'm going to give us a different problem. Okay. Our problem is going to be that a DVD costs $17.49 plus a sales tax of 6.5%. Okay. And they want to know what is the total cost. How much am I going to pay altogether? Think about this. You were talking about getting some new kicks, right? So for basketball or new shoes. I don't want to say kicks because y'all probably don't use that term. But you were talking about getting some new shoes for basketball. When you go to Big Five or the Nike outlet or wherever you go, you're going to have a certain cost. Let's just go ahead and do that. Forget this problem. I want to do something relevant. I like talking about sneakers. How much those jokers cost? You said there was a pair for 100 and let's say $68. And a lot of the stores like to tack on that 99 cent. Like, who are they fooling, right? So this is the price. This is the list price or tag price. And then there is going to be a 6.5% sales tax. So how much is that? With the 6.5% sales tax, how much do you need to have on you, or how much are you walking out the door paying? 6.5%, right? So I'm going to set this up by moving my decimal 2 spaces to the left. I think you know how to do that already. I've seen what you had written down. So it's 0.065 times 168.99. When I do this, the answer that I will get will be the amount of sales tax in money. Okay. So I need to open up a calculator, or I can just do that on my phone. I'm going to take my phone and I'm going to do zero. I'm sorry. I'm going to do 0.065 times 168.99. And that gave me a total of 10 point. My answer is 10.98435. This is my answer. But when I report out money, how do I report it? I report it out to the hundredth, right? So my sales tax amount is $10.98. It's going to be 98 because the number immediately to the right of that four tells me whether or not that eight stays an eight or it is rounded up to a nine. It's going to stay at eight because this value is less than five. All right. So here is the amount of sales tax in dollar amounts. Okay. Now I need to know what's my total price going to be. Oh, well, that's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Total, I'm going to add 168.99 plus $10.98. Okay. And I'm just going to do the math there. So I'm going to do this here. 17. I know that 9 doubled is 18 plus 1 is 19. Regroup again. That'll give me 9. That'll give me 7. That'll give me 1. So I have $179.97. My total price. Okay. Out the door. This is what you're going to do to any problem on this page that asks you how much altogether when you are doing either a commission, a sales tax, a tip. Okay, any of those things is what's going to happen. So for this first problem here, you're going to set it up the same way, and you're going to set up the second problem the same way. Do the work, circle your answer, and you should find that answer somewhere else in this thing here. So let's go ahead and let's do number two. $72.48 is our dinner bill. Julio tipped the waiter is that 15% or 1.5? I hope it's 15 because ain't nobody tipping 1.5. 15%, what is the total price? So how am I setting that up? If you said I'm gonna do what I just did over here, you're absolutely right. So let's get it. I'm gonna pause this while I erase. All right, so now that I've gotten rid of all that, let's go ahead and put $72.48 times 15%. 72.48 times 0.15. I think you got this part. I'm going to multiply that, and I'm going to use my calculator. I could just multiply it by breaking it up, but I'm going to use my calculator, and I'm sure your teacher lets you guys use calculators on this. If she doesn't, no, I'm sorry. So my answer straight off the calculator is going to be 10.872. But we are talking about money, 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 money. So that is going to be a sales tax amount of $10.87. And we know why. If you don't know why, send me a message and say, Doc, I don't know why. All right, now what do I have to do? In order to figure out what the total price is out the door, how much money I need to have with me, I need to add the original price plus the sales tax, okay? And so that's going to be 15. 5 plus 8 is 13. I remember that. Regroup. 3 and then 8. So the total amount out the door is $83.35. I'm sorry, this was not a sales tax. This is a tip. This is the amount of the tip. My apologies, I'm switching problems. So now let's look for the answer, 83.35. Ah, I see it right here. So you can circle that. If I were you, I'd do all the work in the box and keep it clear. Don't write over any other writing. Nice, neat, and clear. And then circle it with the same color pen that I answered it with over here. Okay, that is one way to do it. So you have a jacket is priced at $35.99 and is on sale for 25% off. What is the sale price? Okay, so finding that the sale price is the same in a sense. Okay, $35.99. So let me just say I had a different something or the other. Let's say I wanted to buy some tennis shoes because we all like those. And my tennis shoes were $99.85 with a sale price of 25% off. Okay, 25% off. what is the sale price of the jacket? And is on sale for 25% off. What is the sale price of the jacket? Not what is the 25% off amount, but what is the sale price? So, first thing I'm going to do is make this something I can work with. 99.85 times 0.25. All right, let's use the calculator, the handy dandy for that. 99.85 times, that's not what I did, 99.85 times 0.25. And the 25% of 99.85 is $24. I mean, 249625. That is 25%. But they asked me about the sale price, which means now that I know it was 25% off, I've got to take 25% off of that amount. So if I made this just money, it would be $24.96. So let's do 99.85 minus $24.96. So $99.85 minus $24.96. I got $74.89. So that would be my sale price. I want you to pause this video and work through this problem here. All right. And whatever answer you get, scroll, or you don't have to scroll because you actually got your paper or your book, and look for the answer in one of those boxes. Try highlighting them or circling them with the same color pencil or crayon. Okay. Now, this is definitely going to be, excuse me, a subtraction problem because it was that amount off. Let's look at all the other problems and just see if there's something different. Cardholders save 15% during a Kohl's sale. If I want to purchase items that total $82.50, what will the discounted price be if I use my Kohl's card? So now in this case, if I was to set up a formula, I'd plug in 0.15 times X equals $82.50. Okay, and then I would solve for X. All right, so I'm back. I don't even know. I am working on this problem here. Cardholders save 15% during a Kohl's sale if I want to purchase items that total $82.50. So I am going to have items that are $82.50, and I know that I'm getting a 15% discount. I need to first find out what is that 15% of $82.50. So I did the math, and it's 12.375, and then I take 82.50, 82.50, and I subtract 12.375, and I get 70.125. 70.125. And if I round this up to a 3, my total that I'll have to pay is 70.13. Let's see if we have that as an answer anywhere. Ah, here it is. $70.13. So that's how you solve it. Okay. Just be careful with the wording. I really encourage students to talk to people at home about what you're doing. I don't think there is anything. This one right here, the one about Carmen's family went for ice cream and the bill came to $12.86. Carmen's mom has a 20% off coupon. So we know that we have to find out what is 20% of 12.86 and then subtract that amount, right? But then there's another component. It says if she pays, can you turn it down? It says if she pays for the ice cream with a $20 bill, how much change will she get back? So I'm going to subtract the amount of the discounted price from the 20, and that will give me some change. Okay, so that should be relatively simple for you. If it isn't, let me know and I'll walk through an example. A new 54-inch flat screen TV costs $1,245 at Best Buy. If Harry has a 15% off coupon, what will he pay? So again, they're asking you first to find 15% of $12.45, which means I have to multiply 1245 times 0.15. And then that amount is what I'm taking off of the cost of the TV so that I can pay for it. And what amount is that going to be? And then just look around for the answer. Okay. And then I'm trying to see. 50%. A new pair of boots is marked down from 80 to 60. What is the percent of discount? Excellent. If it was 80 and now it's 60, there are several ways to do that. Several ways to do that. My screen is froze. Gotta wait till it comes back here. So basically, it is asking 60 is, oh goodness, I don't like when my thing skips. 60 is the part, 80 is the whole. Something's wrong with my screen. 60 is the part. So it should be like 60 over 80. And something is really going on with my screen here. So you'll put 60 over 80 and find the percent of that. So if you set it up like a proportion, let me see if I could do the text. If I set it up like a proportion, it would be 60 over 80. And then on this side up here, see, I would have percent, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. And then down here, I would have 100, and there would be lines underneath these and an equal sign. Does that make sense? So I'm basically setting up a proportion. So it would be 60 over 80 is what of 100. So then I would do 60 times 100, remember? So that would be 60 times 100. And that's going to be 6 and 1, 2, 3 zeros. And then I'm going to divide that by 80. So that'll be 6,000 divided by 80. And that is a total of 75. So this answer here is 75%. Is there another way I could have done that? Yes, I could have divided 60 by 80 and I could have just went on ahead and divided 60 by 80 or 60 by 80 and my answer would have been 0.75, which is 75%. Okay. So then all I got to do is look and see, do I see 75% anywhere? First, let me go back because I think I need to reread the question. It says, where was I? Because I don't think we finished the question. It says a new pair of boots is marked down from 80 to 60. What is the percent of discount? That's different. So the percent of discount then becomes, all right, so if 60 over 80 is 75%, what is the percent of discount? The discount is 100 minus the 75%, which leaves us with 25%. So the percent of discount is 25%. It is not the final answer that I got here as far as the percentage. I just found out the 60 over 80 is 75%, right? So then the percent of discount, how much I saved, was actually 25%. Okay. I didn't finish the question and I realized it once I started talking about it. So now we can look and see, do I see 25% anywhere in my answers? I do right here, 25%. Okay. So the funny thing about percent of discount is that there are other ways to find it, but if I use what I know, like my proportions, Then I just have to subtract that amount away from 100% to get the percent that I was actually discounted. Okay. All right. Let me just look. I'm going to look ahead and see if there are any other problems that I feel like might need a little bit of splaining. All right, I think it may be necessary to go over markups since we talked about markdowns or discounts off. And so this is the retailer story here. A retailer marks up their furniture 33% over wholesale prices, right? So if a dresser normally cost me $975 wholesale, what does the retailer charge? Well, first I got to figure out what is 33% of 975. And once I figure out what 33% of 975 is, then I'm going to add that amount to the 975 because remember, the retailer isn't just going to sell it for 975, they're going to mark the price up 33%. Okay? So let's just treat this like we think it's 50%. Let's do that. If I think it's 50, I'm sorry, let's say I am selling a car or I am a retailer and I'm selling anything for $975 and I want to get a 50% markup. That means I'm going to sell it for the $975 plus 50% of its actual cost. First, I need to find out what is 50% of 975. So I'm going to take my decimal here. I'm going to take my percent and convert it to a decimal. Or I can think about what is half of 975. Like with percents, you really don't have to follow um, the strategy. If you know how to use numbers, do that. Like don't be pigeonholed in to one way to do it. All right. So half of 975 is $487.50. That's half of that. And so if this is the original price, I'm definitely going to get that, right? But I'm also going to add on. This is a markup. So I'm going to add on $487.50. Remember when we're adding decimals, we line them up. So 8 plus 8 is 16. Regroup again. 9 plus 5 is 14. So if I marked up this, let's say it's a sofa or a love seat or a chair, a lazy boy chair because I like to recline, 50%, then I'm not only getting the 975, but I'm also getting the 487.50, half of that amount plus the original amount. Now, what if it was a mark down? Well, if it was a mark down, that could be a sell, that could be a discount. Maybe I have an employee's discount. Remember, we were talking about that today. Like if you get to work at Nike, or wherever when you're a teenager, then you might get a 50% discount. Hey. And so you had this big ticket item or several pieces of clothing and shoes you wanted to buy, and it came up to $975. But because you are a sales rep, you get 50% off. So now I see that 487.50. So I'm going to do 975 minus because I get the mark down 487.50. And since we know it's half, we know that how much you're going to pay is just going to be half, 487.50. If it's a markdown, if it's a markup, you add it. If it's a markdown, you subtract it. Okay. I think that's probably it. I think you can handle the rest of these. You bought a down jacket that normally costs $40 for 35. What is the percent of discount? So you could set this up as a proportion. Or you could set it up looking for the sales tax, if that makes sense. So it normally costs, the original cost is 40. Let's try it both ways. So I can set it up like a proportion. This is the part to the whole. The original price is 40, but I got it for 35. What was the percent? I shouldn't say that. What is 35? What is the percent? What percent of 35 of 40 is 35? That's the question I'm asking. So I'm going to multiply 35 times 100, right? And that's going to give me 3,500, and I'm going to divide that by 40. Okay. Or I could simply do 35 divided by 40, and that's going to be 87.5%. All right. That's what that is. And so then I subtract 87.5% from 100%. And that was a savings of about 12.5%. Now, I don't even know. Is that what they asked me? Let me go back. What is the percent of discount? 12.5%. That's what they asked me. So what is the markdown value, right? Like what is the percent it was marked down? That's what they're asking. Percent of discount is like a markdown. So again, I know that by doing this as a proportion or simply by dividing 35 by 40, look how close that is. That is 35 is for 87.5% of 40. It's real close to 40. So we know it's close to 90%, right? And then what I have to do is figure out if that is how that's represented as 87.5%, what was the discount markdown? It was 100% minus 87.5%, which left me, with 12.5%. Okay. These may take a little bit longer to understand, but I promise you they'll be okay. Lazy Boy chairs are on sale 30% off at Graham Furniture Mart. If an oversized recliner, that should say recliner, is on sale for $10.50 or $1,050, what is the original price? Again, you could set up a proportion or you could do the sales price and percentage and just plug in the values. So here's what we have. We know we've got 30%. So we've got 30 over 100. And we know that the original price was 1050. So we're looking for what the sale price was. This is X in this case. So we multiply here and move the decimal 2 spaces over or divide by 100. Okay. Or we could set it up like 0.30 times 1050, because this is all we're doing when we find the sales price of something, and it should get us our part. Okay, that's it, Nate. If you go through this video, take your time, stop when I'm stopping, and get it done. That way you will be good to go. All right, kid. Oh no, it said what was the original price, not what was the sale. It was on sale for $10.50. Sorry. So then the answer, so this wouldn't be looking like this. It would be $10.50 times 1050 equals 0.30 times X, because we don't know the original price. We know the sales price, and that's the answer. So we're going to divide both sides by 0.30, and that'll give us our answer, kind of like what we did here. Okay. I said 30. All right, that should be it. Let me know if you need anything else.